I'm going to talk today about summative assessment. Before the College Ready Ohio program, my summative assessments usually included just a traditional paper and pencil test, much of which was just multiple choice and maybe a few essay questions. Frequently, it would take me a very long time to grade these. The multiple choice I could send through a scanner. However, the essays would take quite some time to grade. Um, and this slowed down the process of getting students feedback as well as giving them the opportunity to retest if they had gone ahead and mastered the material. With Schoology, I have started a process of streamlining how I return feedback for the students. It's also given me the ability to allow students to retest and move towards mastery learning. In order to protect student grades and respect FERPA laws, I'm not going to be going to the actual student results. However, what I can show you here are some tests. So this is actually the multiple choice section. I do have an essay section on this and a problem solving section, in which case you just click on the response, you read it, and you can immediately post the amount of points that you would like to assign. You can also use attached rubrics and such as well. But for example, if I want to go ahead and edit this question, I can show you some of the options here. And so the questions can be imported using an exam view creator or other tests, as long as you can save it as a Blackboard 7 or newer file. You can change your correct answers. You can randomize the order. You can allow partial credit. That's particularly useful if you're going to do like a matching, which I'll show you here in a minute. And you can change a point. You can also connect to different standards. And so this has helped me to align my tests better with standards. It has helped me to also basically see more statistical analysis and give students immediate feedback. What I can do is I can actually assign random sets of questions, so I can create a bank of questions and then assign out random questions that deal with that particular standard. And then I can actually look at the results of the tests overall. So here I'm going to click the stats of the tests overall. I do have individualized student stats as well, but I'm not going to be showing that just out of respect for student grades and such and confidentiality. But I can see, a lot of students did test in the 90s and this, so a lot of students really got it. 5 were in the 80s, 3 were in the 70s, and I start getting down here and I have 1 and 2 and 3 students in some of these lower, basically in the F ranges. So they'll be retaking tests in the next few weeks. And then it's very easy with Schoology to be able to reassign a test so that the students can retake it. It only takes a matter of moments to grade. I also put out basically the same test. It's just going to be a scrambled order, scrambled questions, and I can put them out as practice tests so that the students can sort of see what's coming up. Again, since I create a bank of questions, they don't know exactly which questions they're going to be getting. They could show up on a test, but not necessarily. And this gives the students actually immediate feedback, though. When they click in the responses and do the practice test, I tell basically Schoology has an option so that you can set it so that they see their responses and see with immediate feedback the correct answers, and so then they can study from that and see where they made their mistake. You can give feedback for specific responses about why it would be correct or incorrect. I can also, with the same test, take a look at, all right, so I look at this question. Oh, this question right here, only about 56% of the students got it correct. And so I can actually see specific stats as far as what they answered most frequently. Most did get that the answer was nucleotides, but one person put monosaccharides, one person put fatty acids, and 10 people put amino acids. So again, that might be something where I go back, reteach, or reevaluate student learning, try to figure out why they're picking amino acids over nucleotides for this particular question. Another major benefit was that for my anatomy classes, they had to be familiar with the anatomy and structure of the parts of the body. And so, for example, this is a circulatory and lymphatic quiz, and here I have a diagram of the heart. It used to be fill in the blank, but now I have matching, and so I create a bank of words. Sometimes it's the same number of words that are on the blanks, but I can make it more. If I go to edit this, you can see how big this question is. And so on this particular one, yeah, see, I was very nice. I put the same number of answers as there are questions there, but I can actually uh, assign the same answer to a couple of different um, blanks. I can also, so I can basically reuse. I can also create more blanks than there are responses. Um, I can add or remove blanks as I see fit. I had to allow partial credit because the problem with this is that if I don't allow that, then they don't get credit. For example, number one on the diagram was superior vena cava, and if they got that one wrong but got all the rest of them right, then they would um, immediately be marked wrong for the whole question for the whole 15 points. Again, I can connect this to standards. I can time different questions. I can set a time limit as far as the overall test. Those aren't things that I'm currently interested in. But the very nice thing is that I can see uh, great statistical analysis, gives the students a chance to master the learning, master the knowledge, master the content, um, and then I can get feedback to them quicker. These particular tests would take me about a week and a half to 2 weeks to grade, and now currently they have instant feedback, and so they took this test on Friday, so starting Monday they can start retesting if needed. I can take the best score, I can take the average score, I can take the most recent score if I would like to. So again, it has helped with student mastery of the knowledge. I feel like they have a deeper understanding, and it has streamlined my workflow and feedback for the students.